Hello, and welcome everyone. I am Tanisha Halstead, and you are joining us with the Tech Fuss Made Easy. And if you are here with me live, I want to double check that you can hear me, that you can see me, and all the good things. I'm actually just setting up some behind the scenes stuff here where I'm pulling up the chat just to make sure I can see your comments and all that jazz before we dive into all the goodness. Okay. Okay, perfect. So I have the chat. It looks like I am able to hear, you're able to hear me and see me today. So, okay, perfect. All right, bear with me a few seconds as I just get really the tech part of it, the behind the scenes, to make sure I get this live jumping and rolling. So, I am here today with you fantastic folks, and I want to welcome you to episode 2 of our weekly online show. It's called the Tech Fuss Made Easy with myself, Tanisha Halstead, and this show will be all about simplifying daily operations for small business owners, and we will go live every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we'll explore ways to ease those time-consuming tasks, use some simple tools, and get those workflows done even faster. So topics will include, but are not limited, believe me, to this, is building confidence around adopting new technology, how to get started, and what are some of the basic for newbies that maybe you're creating a plan around adding some implementation, and tools, tips, tricks, all the good stuff. So I'm pumped to have you here with us as we cook up something special for our small coaching businesses. Today we're tackling a common struggle which many of us face, and it's doing a gazillion tasks in our coaching businesses. So imagine that you have the perfect tech stack, as I like to call it, or tools to simplify it all. So we're uncovering some user-friendly tech tools, and this can actually make your coaching work a whole lot easier. So I want you to stick around. I want you to tune in because you won't want to miss this. So before we dive into the tech goodness, I want us to break the ice. I want you to drop a quick hello in the comments, or let me know where you're tuning in from. Whether you are watching us live or you're watching us on the replay, our coaching community, I want you to feel like it's a cozy hangout. And I love seeing familiar and new faces. So I'm just going to look in the chat just to see if I'm missing anything and make sure I am engaging. So I will put a disclaimer out there that sometimes when I multi-stream, there is a lag between the comments, and then sometimes I'm unable to see them. So if you are here with us, and you can go on over to YouTube. If you go to YouTube, I'm able to see your comments very clearly, and I can even spotlight them throughout the live stream. So consider that as another way to engage with me tonight. And so now that we've, broken the ice a bit, for those who might be joining us for the first time, I'm Tanisha Halstead, and I'm passionate about helping small business owners streamline their operations and find ease in their daily tasks through simple yet effective tech solutions. So now that we've gotten all the formalities out of the way, a quick reminder is that we are having our business automation reset, which it's a 5-day virtual challenge, and it's really designed for small business owners who are struggling with their manual, time consuming, and possibly looking for like simple tools to help speed up those tasks and the way that they work. So in completing this business automation reset, the goal is that you'll be able to empower yourself to master those tools, and you're going to pick up some strategies and tips along the way to create a simpler work process. So registration will be opening very, very soon. And here's the scoop. Our email subscribers will be the first to know. So if you're not part of our newsletter community yet, head on over to www.virtuallycenteredsolutions.com/newsletter to join, and you'll be among the first to receive the registration details. Now, I will say, and let me just double check because I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. So I will say that I will drop that into the chat as well. And it'll also be underneath the descriptions of wherever you're tuning in from. So I'm going to bet a virtual coffee that you're here because life is within your business is throwing too many tasks your way. And whether it's drowning in emails or you're searching for tools to just make life simpler, give me a yes in the comments if you are feeling that struggle. And I want to say that tonight we're going to dive into main points of this episode, and each point that I share, I encourage you to comment if this is something that you've experienced. And if you're watching the replay, please feel free to drop your thoughts there as well, because my team and I love to go back and make sure we're engaging and giving valuable information to our audience. So first up, we're going to talk about streamlining your client scheduling. I like to think of it as the stages of, someone has found your business online. What is it taking for them to book a session with you or schedule a client session? We want to think about ease. We want to think, is there more friction or is there less friction for someone to book and make that an actionable step in taking with you? So one of the tools, or one of the things we want to talk about tonight, is exploring scheduling tools. So two of them that I had in mind were Calendly or Acuity. So these are really user-friendly tools that let your clients book sessions or consultations, whichever word fits you, without the back and forth email dance. So let me know in the comments if you've tried this before. Do you currently use a Calendly or Acuity? Or if you have another scheduling tool that you love, please feel free to share it, because again, we're here to learn and grow together. So we are open to other tools. In fact, we are in the process of setting up another online booking system. So currently we're using Calendly. I have used Acuity when I first started the business, so I have a little bit of experience in using each of these, and I have my reasons of why I like one over the other, but that's not what we're here for tonight. But what I did want to share, and these are some resources that I'll drop into the chat. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to jump over to my other screen here. So I'll also share these resources in the chat. So to prepare for tonight, what I did was go ahead and look up some resources, because we really want to help you eliminate some of that tech overwhelm and maybe just the idea of researching new tools. So I found this article, which I thought was really great, that compared Acuity versus Calendly and which may be best for you. So something that I talk about with clients is that picking tools for your business is personal, because we're all at different tech levels. Each business is unique, so we want to make sure that we're picking tools that are aligned with our business needs. So there's a ton of information in this article. Like, I'll even scroll up so you can see a little bit here. So when we go up here, it kind of goes through the individual pros and cons of each of each scheduling tool. But what I really liked about this article is not only did it give a side-by-side comparison, but then if we go towards the end of the article, they talked about which is best for you. And this is why I said this is very personal. So in my experience, I do feel that Acuity is more suitable for those, I want to say like maybe service businesses where you have like maybe you're a spa or you're a hair salon or you're providing services like that, where you may have like gift certificates, packages, just multiple tiered services, and they come with a lot of description because it's better for people to book that way. So in those scenarios, I would recommend something like Acuity. But if you're someone who is a consultant, a coaching business, mainly operating virtually or just looking to schedule virtual appointments, even though Calendly can do both, then in those scenarios, I would actually recommend Calendly. Now, later on, I'll definitely, in one of our live streams, I'll be sharing another tool that we're switching to internally. And I want to be mindful not to overwhelm you again or overload you with tools. So, but I think that sometimes we gravitate to the mainstream names because, again, like the biggies and the girlies and the gurus said, this is what we need. But personally, I feel that we have to go with what our business needs are. So number one is streamlining your client scheduling. And number two would be simplifying communication. So communication is key, but it shouldn't be a headache. I want us to explore tools to simplify client communication. And what I would recommend is try using communication platforms like Slack, or maybe if you are a new business owner or new to your coaching business and you are someone who is more of a visual learner, you might want to try something like Trello for client updates, or maybe collaboration if you're just in the earlier stages of building out your processes and working with a team. So if you've used any of these tools or you have other favorites, you know what I'm about to say. Let me know in the comments. But I want to also again show you another resource that I'll share in the description, which is an article that compares. This article will actually compare Slack versus other mediums for communication. So one in particular was Google Chat Spaces. So there are a lot of similarities between Slack and Google Chat, where, in Slack you have the different channels, where in Google Chat it's having different rooms. So it just provides another alternative. And sometimes you already have, again, specific tools that we just need to look how to leverage it even further. So again, there's different ways to streamline your communication. For me, when I think of streamlining communication, I think that there's two sides to it. There's the internal communication, that if you are building out a team, and then there's also external communication, which is that client communication. So we'll explore some more tools and how I'll even share some of how we utilize our internal communication system, which we use a project management tool called ClickUp, and that is how we communicate as a team to streamline internal communication. When working with clients, I do use Slack because I do like the ability to be able to turn conversations on and off, the flexibility of integrating Slack with a lot of the tools we already use. And again, that may be too advanced for some people. So we don't want to overwhelmed. We want to think of what your business needs are. But I'll go ahead and share this article because it'll explain what Slack is. It'll explain what Google Chat is, do a little comparison, and then give you a way to decide what may be best for you. Another thing that I'll share, or another resource that I'll share, is this article that talks about Slack versus email. So email is always a big debate because it can be very overwhelming to see, the goal is, what is it? Inbox zero. Everyone is always talking about inbox zero. So Slack is an alternative that provides you communication that, so you don't have to be stuck in your email all the time. So what I liked about this blog is that it shared reasons or scenarios of when you would use Slack and how it could reduce the amount of emails that you have. So I'll definitely be sure to link these articles as resources. At a later date, what I'll actually show is internally what we use for email management. So currently we use a tool that has a little AI inside of it, and it then does the sorting for the emails, and then we have a whole little process, but I'll share that later on. Comment in the chat if you want to hear more about that. So I do use a AI-based tool, but then I also integrate it with our project management tool to be able to deal with the conversations that may go longer than a 2-minute reply. So yeah, if you're interested in hearing more about that, just definitely feel free to drop it in the chat. And we will keep that in mind to have it as one of the lives that we do later on. All right, so let's keep moving here. So just to recap, so far we've talked about streamlining your client scheduling. We've talked about simplifying your communication. And last but not least, we'll talk about, of course, as a coaching business, you are marketing yourself. You are placing content on social media platforms. So let's talk about managing your coaching business on the marketing front as far as social media. So of course there's processes or there's steps towards creating your content, and I'll dive into that a little bit later on another live stream as well. Actually, maybe I should ask you guys, comment in the chat if you would like to hear a little bit about the workflow or the process of how we think about creating content. And then I'll share some tips and tools about that as well. But one in particular is if you're not using a scheduler at this point, well, it's necessary because scheduling tools help you to plan and they help you to automate wherever you can, as far as, even if it's just scheduling it. I know some of the tools, you can place the caption, the images, the hashtags and everything, and it'll send you an alert. You just got to copy and paste it. If you're a person that still likes to post organically, or if you're someone that's able or wants to schedule, you can use a scheduler such as we were using Metricool. I don't feel like it's talked about enough, but I really do like that tool. One of the reasons I chose it is because as we got into YouTube, none of the other platforms at the time were able to schedule to all the platforms that we put our content out to. So that was one of the reasons we were using that. But we've used Buffer and Hootsuite before, and it just really saves time and keeps the online presence consistent. If you're using a social media scheduler, because there's so many out there, drop one in the comments. You never know who is watching now or either on the replay who may see this, and then you might have created such a gem that will be a game changer for their business. So what I'll wrap up with today is I know that adopting new technology can be intimidated, and a quick win is to start small. Pick one tool that you've been curious about and commit to exploring it this week. It could be a project management tool. It could be a note-taking app. It could be, just a social media scheduler. Share what tool you're going to try in the comments. We are here to support you. We are here to grow with you. We're not out here just to be consuming. We want to take action. So from choosing a tool that you'll explore, that you've been curious about, I want you to grab a pen and paper and jot down 3 tech tools you want to incorporate in your coaching business. We talked about 3 different categories tonight. So, maybe pick one from each and then set a specific time this week to really explore and implement them. Like, what tools are on your list? I want to know. Share your tech goals with us. So if you decide to join us for the business automation reset, here's what could happen. You are going to be able to invest in your business and gain mastery over simple tools, discover some time-saving methods, and create a smoother work process. So imagine the impact on your coaching business being less stressed, feeling more efficient, and the ability to focus on what truly matters. And that's the passion, the drive, the thing that got you in the business. So that's the kind of transformation we're aiming for. And before we wrap up episode 2, let's do a quick recap. So we explored the struggles that many small coaching businesses face and teased some incredible benefits that's awaiting you inside the Business Automation Reset Challenge. So we're on a mission to simplify your coaching journey with the right tech tools. I want to thank you all for joining me for episode 2 of the Tech Fuss Made Easy with myself, Tanisha Halstead. If you haven't already, make sure you are a part of our newsletter community. You can visit www.virtuallycenteredsolutions.com/newsletter to join and be ready for the exciting updates about the Business Automation Reset Challenge. I can't wait to see you there. And until next Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, keep thriving on your coaching journey. And as always, I'm cheering you on. Love y'all.